Good morning, you guys. I'm so excited because we are doing a big kickoff and relaunch for Master the Machine. Master the Machine is a class we did that is ongoing, as in it has live events that are happening all the time. And I'm going to let everyone here introduce themselves so you can see who they are on my team. And then we're going to start out with kind of a fun game. In fact, I'm going to start off by holding up heads, and that person can introduce themselves. So,
Hey everybody, I am Asia Fillmore and I'm one of the coaches in the Design Suite Mastermind program.
Hey, I'm Julie. I'm also a coach in Design Suite.
Hi, I'm Shara, and I am also a coach in Design Suite.
Hi, I'm Sarah, and I'm the event coordinator for Carina's team.
Sarah, your audio is a little bit weird. It's like going.
No, I'm getting feedback really bad, so I'm trying.
You might have to like mute and then just turn it on when you're on, because sometimes that will work. But that was yours is the only one, so that's kind of good because we've had audio issues in the past. So, 1 out of 5 ain't bad. Hello, you guys. Will you come on in and say hello to us in the chat? We are so excited about today. If you're watching this, we're running this on YouTube Live, so that means anybody can see it. We're going to talk. We're going to start out by playing a fun game with you guys so you guys can get to know everybody on the team a little bit better. And hello, how's it going, Judy? And then we're going to give you our top 5 cutting machine mistakes. Okay, so that's where we're going to go. Then we've got some tips for you. Now, if you're like, how can I get in on this whole Master the Machine thing? It is happening today from 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. So right after this meeting, all the way out to 1 p.m. We're doing an event here this is July 22nd. We're running it. Our next event is in November. Now, here's the coolest thing about Master the Machine. So if you want to go learn more about what is all in Master the Machine, it's just at designsuitecourses.com/Master the Machine. And I'll make sure and put it in the chat for you guys. But once you buy your ticket, which by the way, it's still 50% off, it will go up in price. Like that's what happens. Every time we do a live event, it goes up in price. So it's 50% off right now. Get it at the 50% off. Once you do that, you are invited to all of the lives that we do. So it's a pretty cool thing because it's a one-time purchase in. It's not very expensive. You get 18 courses. We talk about the Silhouette, Caesar, and Cricut machines. We show you how to use all of them. It comes with 200 downloads, almost worth the price by itself just from the downloads. But then you get all this coursework. And then we also tape all the events and put them for you directly into the presentation. So you're getting constant updates on what's going on in the machine. So it's like a one-time purchase that gets you long-term events, which is kind of cool. Today, we also have Design Suite and University of Arts and Design joining us in the live version. So if you're in one of those, you get to be part of the live version of this event, which is pretty cool. Hello, Tiffany. Hi, Mary Garcia. Hi, I think that's Carla. So good to see you guys. We're so happy to have you guys here today. Okay, I'm going to throw in the link for you guys if you guys are looking to come in. And then we're going to start off with a game. Sarah, will you explain the game a little bit to everybody? And then we're going to start off with a game. Oh, you are getting really bad feedback, Sarah.
I'm getting really bad. I'm going through my settings trying to figure it out, but it's like I'm hearing double of everything. So it's
I would check, Sarah, check your tabs that are open because something is open and we can hear you. Just want to mute for a second. You might just have to stay on mute, Sarah. So you need to check your tab settings and then you also see if you can get rid of whatever tab is playing for you. So you need to check your tab settings and
It's like you're watching the live on a different window.
All right. Yeah. Okay, well, Sarah, I'm going to explain the game, I guess, and then Sarah is going to play it with us. So, and she doesn't need her audio on in order to make it work. So that's fine. Hello. Hi, Barb. It's so good to see you. Okay, so we have everyone want to hold up your heads, bobbleheads of everybody. Here here are our bobbleheads of everyone. Okay. And actually, we would love for you guys to play this game with us in the chat. Okay. So if you're like, I know who that would be, but we don't even know who this person's going to be, put it in the chat. Okay. So your options are Sarah, Shara, Julie, Karina, and Asia. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to ask a question, and immediately everybody has to put at least one. If you feel like there's more, you can bop up 2 or more people for the question. Now we've got some work and craft related ones. We've got some totally random and silly ones. And we have a just for fun, totally random. So we're going to do a few of these random ones. I better check them off as I go. Okay. Ready? So here's the first question. Those of you in the chat, tell us who you think it could be. This is hard. I'm trying to hold them all at the same time. Okay, the first question
I'm excited to see what everyone else picks.
I know. This could be offensive. I won't be offended.
I won't be offended.
But, offensive to the people here who get voted. But also it'd be hard because I read some of these. I was like, I don't think this is any of us, but I'm going to randomly choose someone anyway. So, all right. Who's most likely to hoard craft supplies and never use them?
Oh. Can I name myself?
You got a Julie? I went Shara. I feel like Asia used them, and I feel like no one voted Sarah because Sarah actually uses hers.
Yeah, I was going to say, Sarah probably uses hers.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Loads of stuff. I probably want
to. It was probably me too. So,
I feel like it was right on the money because I got an Afghan I've been trying to knit to crochet for 5 years. So, I still have a quilt kit from 2 years ago. I spent $200 on it. Haven't touched it.
Oh my gosh. Judy gave you a Shara too. Judy voted for you. Hi, Veronica.
Judy knows.
Judy's like, I know her.
Okay, here we go. Who's most likely to label their label maker?
Oh.
I got 2 votes on that. I was just thinking, I think I did label my label maker. Up at the Airbnb house because I had labeled the entire house. That's embarrassing. Ooh, Mary Garcia said Sarah and Judy gave it a Julie. Okay.
I do like to label things too, though.
Who's most likely to turn a Zoom call into a craft show and tell?
For sure.
Vote for yourself. You guys should, if you only knew the number of times the team has a meeting and suddenly I'm all like, let me show you this and let me show you that. It's so bad. Oh, I got lots of Karinas in the chat. Okay. Who's most likely to redesign the whole project at the last minute?
Oh, yeah. I will own up to that one.
I would say this too, yeah.
A couple of Karinas. Julie's voting for herself because she knows herself so well. I voted Asia. Oh, Tiffany gave it an Asia.
Yep.
Okay. Who's most likely to hot glue their fingers together?
I would say
all
of us.
All of us.
Oh my gosh. I got lots of Karinas. The answer is yes. And here's the crazy part. So my wallpaper, because upstairs in the barn, it's all the way, across the roof, which I've never really done before. So one of them kept falling off. And the reason it kept falling off is because we didn't have the heaters or the air conditioning going on here. So the paper got less sticky. So literally 2 days ago, I got super glue, the stuff. And I accidentally glued my fingers together while I did it. I was like, how did I do this? I'm so careful. It's so weird. Anyway.
I've super glued my fingers together. I've never hot glued them together, but I've super glued them.
Yeah, I super glue my fingers together all the time. I think hot glue would hurt too bad.
Yeah.
That's why
my finger last week with hot glue.
I know.
The reason I really gave it to Julie is because I really didn't want her to sorry, Sarah, we're gonna have to mute you because we can hear all of your feedback. Sorry. The reason I gave it to Julie is because I just don't want it to be one of the rest of us, because she'd be like, oh, that's too bad.
It's so true. She'd be like, oh.
So sorry, guys.
Okay,
no, but I do.
Okay,
Yeah.
who's most likely to be distracted by a new font for 3 hours?
Oh my gosh.
I voted 3. Those 3 right there. That's who I voted.
Probably, yeah.
Julie got so many.
I'm trying to be better.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm going to hop down to the total random and silly. Who's most likely to survive a zombie apocalypse?
Oh.
I'm voting myself on that one. I've got a plan, guys.
Oh, yeah.
Shara and Julie both got a vote too, though.
I'm calling
Judy
it.
said Shara. Shara, you're going to survive.
Yeah, you'll survive. She'll run faster than all of us.
Apparently, I'm the only one that's not going to survive. Did you notice that?
We'll take care of you, Asia.
Yeah. We just have high hopes.
Hope I shall make it.
Who's most likely to start a side hustle for their pet?
Oh, I wish Lisa was here. Then we
I
could,
know.
Yeah.
I know.
I'm going to say Julie.
I
Ooh,
know. I'm
or
Julie out on
this
one,
girl
too.
loves her dog right here.
Yeah, I will say Asia because I don't even have a pet.
I'm like,
You down.
that doesn't make sense.
She's
I
like,
like that
definitely
about
Asia.
Sarah.
Who's most likely to own 47 mugs but only drink from one?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's me.
What do you guys think in the chat? Who's most likely to own 40? I mean, that's the full. Is that the only full? Everybody has chosen Shara for it.
I think so.
It's
Very
true,
personal.
though.
Shara.
I got one mug that I love. The rest of them are just in the cabinet.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm going to go just for the fun of it. This is totally random. Who's most likely to laugh in the middle of a serious moment? Oh, man. I'm going to pull these two yahoos up.
Okay. Yeah, I would say this is true.
Asia voted for herself.
I've done it because someone said something, and I'm like, I'm supposed to be serious right now.
I'm supposed to be serious. Christine said me. Said Julie.
I know. I'm trying to do better about that.
Okay. Who's most likely to trip over nothing while standing still?
Oh my
Wait.
gosh.
Is Julie the goofball? Whoa! Shut up on me. But Julie,
No, this is true.
Carina and Asia. Okay. Who's most likely to order dessert before the main course?
No question.
Well, that's true. I will.
Mm-hmm.
Mary's calling me out. Carina, Julie's all like, me too. Sarah, because there's this great restaurant in Utah, you guys, called Soul Agave that we love. I love it so much, but I'd never had their butter cake. And when the whole team was here, Sarah was like, we have to have it. And I was just like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
It is delicious.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so I don't know what it is. It's not really cake. It's not really a cookie. It's just delicious. So if
It's
you come
just
to
next
Utah,
level.
Amazingness. Yeah, it was.
Mhm.
That was amazing.
All right, we'll do one last one. This one's so bad. Who's most likely to adopt a llama just because it felt right?
Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm going to say Asia too.
It just feels right, guys.
Yeah, I had to go with my gut.
You got some Julies in the chat, Julie. I'm glad no one voted me because like that would not happen. I would not adopt a llama just for the fun of it. That's like against all my core values. Okay, you guys, we're gonna hop right now into talking about our top 5 cutting machine mistakes. So each one of us chose one that we wanted to talk about with you guys. And I really think that the point of this is to help you. Now, this is for all machines. So all of us here have multiple machines. Some of us have multiple of the same kind of machine. I'm not going to say who. Anyway, so we're going to talk about all of them. We're going to show you a few tips, which we hope you really love. And then just as a reminder, if you want to hop into today's event, or if you watch this after the fact, you get the live event that we're going to do. It will be in your portal at carinagardner.com. So like you can log in, you'll get the 18 courses, the 200 downloads, all of the live events that we do. Come check it out. I don't even know that it's that much. For the 50% off, I don't even know. Now I've got to go look. Master Machine. It's not that much. Yes. So the typical price of the entire course is $297. Right now it's $148.50. So it's pretty insane for all the live events that we do with you guys. Okay. So Julie, do you want to kick us off and tell us your cutting machine mistake that really bugs?
So one of the things that do I hold it up myself too?
Laughter.
No,
These things are going to be fun for a long time.
I know we can have puppet time, like little puppet show, like stay in your lane.
I'm worried about meetings. That's what I'm worried about, you guys, because the rest of you guys don't see team meetings. But like, I mean, now we're gonna have to get a set for Abby also on the team to be like, so Abby can be like, and we'll have to put one up for Abby so that she can
That's right. Who keeps us all straight, Abby?
It's so true.
Sorry, I got distracted. So my cutting.
Sorry.
So one of the things that is like so important that sometimes I get a little lazy is making sure that I'm loading my thing properly. Now I'm like fuzzy. Sorry, guys. Like anyway,
You're not that fuzzy. You're fine.
Okay. I'm like going around. Anyway, zoom in, zoom out. Anyway, so one of the things that's really important is making sure that your mats are clean and that you don't have extra like paper or, because a lot of times I get lazy. What is wrong with my camera all of a sudden? Sorry, guys. I'm like,
you only are noticing it more because now you're really, really big.
Not big. I'm like, I need to go back
to
small.
5 buttons to get to that, you guys. So yeah,
you're like, it's staying. Okay, hold on. Let me see.
It's fine, Julie. You're great.
Okay. It's just the fuzzy filter,
Make it look younger. Just go with it.
Let's go with it. Okay. So, yeah, sorry, Judy. I'm a little fuzzy in more ways than one. So, so it's important to make sure your mats are clean. I'm trying. I shouldn't have gone first.
Who's gonna be the one laughing during a serious moment?
I know it was Julie. It was always gonna be Julie. She was always gonna be laughing during a serious comment. We like moved to something serious, and she's like, I just can't hold it together.
Sorry, guys. Okay, I'm like crying. All right. So anyway,
what happened? Nothing has happened today. That's like the best part about this.
I know.
Coffee much, Judy says.
I know. I don't even drink coffee. Can you imagine if I did?
Can you imagine if I did?
So anyway, so it's really important to keep your mats clean and make sure that they're loaded. Like it's not as much a big deal, but like if you have like a big one like with Asia's, you're able, like with the Caesar, you're able to make sure the pinch rollers are in the right spot. So if you're doing smaller things, just making sure that your rollers are on evenly and you keep your mats clean. And what I've heard of different tips to refresh them. I've heard that you can do like Dawn dish soap and different things. A lot of times I'm just lazy and I just replace them. I don't know. Do you guys have tips of how to keep your mats better and cleaner?
I'm lazy. I replace mine too.
You know, I'm like, because it just happens to be, it just seems to work better when you're, so sometimes you get cheap and you just don't want to replace them, but it really does make a difference with things that are not going to slip if you really need to have good mats. So that was it. Now I'm not so fuzzy.
if you clean them though a little bit, like, and they're clean enough, I use tape on I use tape on either side so I can tape down my projects because the mat just holds it down, right? It's like just making it stiffer. And so for years, I couldn't afford buying mats all the time. And I didn't really have another great way to do it. So I just used tape. Like I was the queen of taping down all
like
this stuff.
I do like a lot of painter's tape. I have like lots of rolls. So I'll put it down and keep painter's tape down on just on the side, and then it comes up pretty easy and it doesn't usually mess up my paper. So I use painter's tape a lot.
Yeah, so. Tiffany's saying she says, I just replaced mine when they go on sale. I tried cleaning them, but it doesn't last long enough for me.
Yeah.
You know, if you keep an eye out, I got a great big pack of mats from Cricut, and it was like Black Friday or something sale. And I think I spent maybe $50 and I got this huge pack. And that's been like 4 years ago. I haven't had to buy any more. It was such a good deal.
Yeah, that's incredible. Judy's saying the silhouette mats, like she's tried to use the Dawn, but it doesn't work. It just turns to goo. So that's interesting.
So don't try that.
Yeah.
I know I got like a double pack from Walmart for like, I think it was under $10 the last time I got some Cricut mats. So
yeah. My other cheap method is I will use I will buy the 24-inch by 12-inch and cut them in half because it's the same mat and it's less, to buy basically 2 for 1. So that's often what
that's a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah. I cut them. I'm always cutting them. All right.
I was just going to share. Hopefully, I think I figured out my feedback. Hopefully, but I was just going to say I like Silhouette has like light tack and standard tack, and I really like that because I try to save my light tack mat for things like vellum or copy paper or pages, or like I have a really sticky. I can't remember the name of it, the hardtack mat. But if I'm doing like thick glitter paper, it just holds it even better than like the standard mat. So it doesn't always happen, but I have like different mats for different paper that I'm using.
Yeah, Judy just said you sound better, and you sound better to us too.
Awesome. Okay, I think I figured it out. So
that's so awesome. You guys, Sarah's been in the crafting industry. It's like she's a true crafter, but she's been in the crafting industry forever. That's how we met. And she's done some incredible things. So like, it's so funny because she probably uses her mats as much as us and the coaches do. We're designing product, but literally Sarah is using it for her crafting projects. So anyway, it's funny because she's not a coach. She's the event director or the event coordinator here on the team.
But I generally love crafting and anything creative. I love all things creative.
Love it. All right, Asia, you want to do your tip?
Sure. My tip, and I'll give you a little demo on the Silhouette software, is to not forget to mirror your project when you are doing HTV vinyl, because with HTV or heat transfer vinyl, when you cut it on the opposite side, so you cut it from the back, and then you flip it down on your project. So you need to cut it from a mirrored position. So in order to do that, let's see. Okay. Window. Silhouette. Okay. So I just have the sample up here. It's just a little hello. And all you have to do on the Silhouette Studio is just come up here to Object, Mirror, and then you're going to want to flip horizontally. You can flip vertically, but for this, we just want to do horizontal. And then you've got it going backwards, and then you can send it over to cut. So it's super easy. You just have to remember that step. There is a different way to do it in like Cricut, where it's just a little check mark after the fact. So like it's actually in the once you start cutting it process, you don't mirror it on the artboard area. You mirror it in the cutting phase. So
Yeah.
That's a good tip. I rely on my machine to tell me when to mirror it. The only bad thing is, notice how like Asia's on her screen was over in the left-hand corner. The bad thing is when you do it on the cutting side, like it will end up on the other side of the vinyl. So if you've like strategically laid your whole thing out, it can be kind of a hot mess.
yeah.
All right. Sarah.
Okay, so my thing that you do not want to forget to do, that I try to do every time, is to make sure that you use the test cut feature. I'm a Silhouette user. Obviously, I worked for Silhouette for a long time, but I checked, and Cricut and Caesar both have this option to do the test cuts. And what I found is, like, sometimes your blade is brand new and sometimes it's on its last leg. So your blade's sharpness matters, and your paper thickness. I buy cardstock or paper wherever I can find it. So I have hundreds of different kinds of cardstock, and everything cuts a little bit different. So if you do a test cut, at least for Silhouette, it just puts in the top left-hand corner, it puts a little square, and then inside that square, a triangle. So it kind of does two tiny, tiny cuts, and it just helps you know, is my blade depth correct? Am I cutting it, is it going to, because I don't know about you guys, but I have done like a whole project and I pull it out and it like didn't cut deep enough, or it almost cut through my mat. So don't forget to use that test cut. It's definitely ruined so many of my projects when I'm in a hurry and I think, oh, I don't have time to test cut. And when I do that, I always regret it. I always think I should have just taken that extra 1 minute and just done the test cut to make sure that my settings and everything is set up correctly.
It's always in those moments of like, you're in a hurry, in a rush, and you can't afford to screw up the project, that you screw up the project because you didn't take that extra step. So
yeah.
I just did it this morning because I hadn't pulled out my electrostatic mat for a while, and that's what I'm using today when we're doing all of the private, 9 to 1 today. And I pulled it out and I was like, I'm just gonna do the test cut. Sarah says I should do it because I'm always in a hurry, you guys know. And I was like, I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna do the darn test cut. And it was awesome. I'm glad I did it. All right. Sure.
Okay, so I am going to attempt to share.
And just while Shara's doing that, Judy's asking, did you make the pillow behind you, Asia?
Yes, actually, my pillow that is behind me was. Oh yeah. It was actually for one of Carina's summits that I did back in November 2024, I think. So I drew all of this in Procreate and then cut it all out with, this is actually Silhouette printable fabric. So I printed all of this on there, cut it out, and then sewed it and put it on this pillow. So
can you see this?
No, I'm gonna add it to screen, right?
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Okay. You can see the ladybug?
Yes.
All right. So this is going to be our speed test project here. So I've already got it pulled up on the screen, but this is Cricut Design Space. And one of the things I was going to show you is a problem, something that I do all the time is I don't change the operation. For instance, if I had writing on my project and I forgot to change this operation for that, then I would end up getting a cut instead of a drawing. So for instance, this right here is set to have a basic cut. If I wanted to draw it, then I would have to change this operation up here. And you can see that there's different options. So I would go down to pen and then it would actually draw the ladybug instead of cutting the ladybug. And the same thing goes for if you are going to have a card and you have a sentiment that's going to be written on the card, then Cricut Design Space will bring in both the writing and then the actual surface of the card. And you have to change each operation that you've got. So you would change the writing to pen, and then your actual card would be, of course, cut. But you'd want to make sure that over here that you attach those two on this the paper clip. It's grayed out for me since I'm not actually attaching anything. But if you've got two operations that you want to perform at the same time with Cricut, then you have to attach those two operations to each other so the Cricut understands that it's supposed to do both things at the same time. So, and otherwise, your pen would write just anywhere on the canvas. It wouldn't actually write on the actual card. So that is, an important thing to remember when you're doing this with Cricut.
Love that. Thank you so much, Shara. Shara, do you like for when you go to cut that ladybug, you don't have to do this, right? This is for other things that you'd be working on.
Yeah, like if you're doing a card where you've got, like, for instance, let me show you this. I've got this project here that I did forever long ago, and this is actually Carina's file. And I have written happy birthday on there. So whenever Cricut brings it in, it sees that I've got happy birthday, and it sees that I've got this square, but it doesn't understand that it's not supposed to cut out the happy birthday. You have to tell it. So what you do is when it comes in, you take your happy birthday, your sentiment, and you change the operation to pen. And then you put this and your square together by the paper clip. You attach it. So then whenever your machine comes to this part of the cutting process, then it'll tell you to load your pen and it'll write it out and then cut it out.
And is that how it knows that it needs to center it on that image because you paper clipped it?
Well, no, you can center it on the image. Whenever I do designs, I always put it on the actual image and I compound path it. So whenever people bring it into the Cricut Design Space, it's already together and centered, but then you still manually have to change your operation to pen and paper clip the two together. But it's already centered whenever it's brought in because I designed it that way on my end.
So basically you're telling it what position on that space that it wants to draw. So like if she didn't want it in the center, she could move it and then weld it.
Yeah.
And move it wherever she wanted.
Yeah.
It just keeps them together basically so that they don't move, because otherwise Cricut sees blue and it sees black and then it just tries to separate them.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So the other thing with when you're designing, and I know that we've probably got designers in here too. When you're designing, you have to make sure that you compound path these together. Because if you don't compound path happy birthday, then you'll have an H over here and a B over there. It won't be together. So you have to make sure to tell Cricut that this has to be written together and in this order.
Perfect. So good. Great tip. Okay, my cutting tip mistake. I have two. I'm also going to share my screen because it's just easier to show it on my screen. Let's see. I also have, you'll notice, the ladybug up because you guys were about to do a speed test with everybody when we go into our private design mastermind event today at 9 o'clock. So the thing I want to talk about is when you only have one object, it's not that big of a deal. But when you have multiple objects, the thing you need to do is hold down your shift key in order to keep everything in proportion. And if I'm not holding down my shift key, this one will move fine. But something, I'm like, I don't think I have something up that would work. Let me just see. Can I Control Z and do something? Basically, if you have even any kind of object sitting on here and you don't have your shift key on, it will change the proportions of whatever you're doing. Now, this might not seem like a big deal, but the place that we see it the most often, that it makes the most sense, is for really, really big projects. So for example, you guys know I have a really big ultimate gingerbread house that people have been like, I want to make that smaller or I want to make it bigger. I'm like, no big deal. You can totally do it. Just make sure you start at the beginning, at the top of the screen, grab every single thing, like run your mouse over the entire project. Then when you're ready to make it smaller or bigger, hold down your shift key and make it smaller or bigger. If you don't, there are some weird things that will happen to all your pieces. The designer has set it up to be exactly that size and in the correct proportions. So if you don't hold down the shift key, it'll get all messed up. So that's my first one. I'm like, does someone want to say something about that? I can't remember what my second one is. Ungroup and group. Okay, so sometimes you get a file and all the pieces are separated. Like the designer didn't compound past something. And actually, ironically, one of the projects we're doing today is this like spider tag thing. And Asia grabbed my file and I was like, oh, these are not grouped. So it's like you have to kind of look at it and be like, okay, I'm going to select all this, group it together, or select it and ungroup it. All you have to do, and I will share my screen again so that you guys can see it. And I am showing Silhouette software here. And I don't know if you guys can see. Oh yeah, you probably don't see. Can you see the object? So it would be group and ungroup. So object on the menu bar and then group and ungroup, which I don't even think you guys can see.
It's not showing your drop down menus, but there is a bar that says object.
Yeah, I'm too lazy to figure it out. So so object, group, and ungroup, just when you are working it directly in Silhouette. I don't know, maybe Asia can tell us about Caesar and Shara about Cricut. Do you guys have to do groups and ungroups, or is it because it's automatic? Okay.
Yeah. Well, used to see Cricut didn't group it automatically whenever it brought your file in, and they've changed the software and it does now, and you have to actually go and ungroup it.
Yeah, it comes in all the way grouped.
Mm-hmm. What about the Caesar?
I think Caesar's is the same way, right, Julie? If I remember correctly, you kind of have to ungroup everything in order to move things individually, which is fine. Sometimes you don't need to ungroup it depending on how things are laying. So like with Caesar, as long as you don't have like the same color laying on top of each other in the design, then you're fine. Like it automatically separates things kind of like Cricut does, but it doesn't if you have like two black pieces that are like on the card that are laying over each other, it leaves them where they're at. So you do have to shift those. So that would be a time when you would need to ungroup them and then move it so they're not laying on each other.
Mm-hmm.
Julie,
that is a funny little quirk, and I didn't realize. Yeah. I think that is a funny quirk with that, because there's been times I messed up. I'm like, why did it cut that? I'm like, oh, because the other shape is on it and it's cutting both at the same time. And so that's something you do have to be careful with Caesar.
So interesting. Okay, so oops. I don't know how to take us back to regular. Oh, there we go. So that's it for the tips. Our 5 cutting mistakes. We are going to talk about some tips. So I'm going to let Julie, Asia, and Shara each do a tip and talk to you about the different kind of machines before we head into our private Zoom call with all the Master Machine people. If you're in Master the Machine and you are in the chat, will you say me so that we know? Those of you who are in Design Suite, you can say Design Suite. And those of you who are at the university, you can say you're at the University of Arts and Design, because we just want to see who's all here live with us. If you are not part of one of those 3 groups, we would love to see you in one of those things. So if you want to come join us, Master the Machine is just at designsuitecourses.com/Master the Machine. If you're interested in the University of Arts and Design, we have actually a brand new free workshop you can enroll in. It's at uad.education. It's called Design Your Future. Okay, so just go on the uad.education website. There's a drop down for it, or it's on the homepage. So you can join that for free. It's really, really cool. And then if you're interested in Design Suite, you can go join us for a design bootcamp at designsuitecourses.com/design bootcamp. So that's pretty fun. I love all the Mary Garcia. She's like me. I'm in Master the Machine. Christine's in Design Suite. Carla's at the University of Arts and Design. Barb's at the University of Arts and Design. And Judy's in Design Suite. We love having you guys here. We're super excited to have you here. All right. Any volunteers for first?
I can go first.
All right. It's all Asia. Here we go.
All right. I'm going to share my screen. And my tip is going to be with print then cut, actually. So I'm going to go and turn this back just because I want to. So for print then cut, we go over and we go to this page setup here. And I'm not familiar with the new software, you guys. I haven't used it in so long. I think I need to go here. It's different now. So there's an actual print and cut featured now. It used to be in the pages if you have the older software. It used to be up at the top. But now they have this little button, at least for the design. I have the designer one, so it may be different for the different versions.
Asia, are you trying to share your screen?
Yeah, is it not showing?
We're not seeing it. Oh, try it again. I think I just must not have pulled it into the screen. So I'm going to do that. So try it again.
Okay. You see it now?
There we go.
Okay. So depending on which version of their software you have, because they have tiers, you may not see all of these little buttons over here off to the right. But this one has a print then cut one right here. And then right here, you're going to hit enable registration marks. Now, as you can see, the lines on here are pretty thin and they're in pretty far. So you can actually change those, which makes it nice. So right here with thickness, you can actually bump that up so it makes them a little bit thicker. And then you can change the inset and move it so it even has a little bit more space. So if you're trying to utilize your as much of your paper as you possibly can for print then cut, then I like to change these things. The inset just gives me more area to put stuff in. And then the thickness just helps with the sensors. So the thicker those are, the more likely it's going to pick that up. And not give you a registration error. So that is my tip for you guys all.
All right. I'm going to hand this over to Julie now.
All right.
And Julie, I don't know if you want to share your screen. Let me just take a look.
Let me try to share. Hopefully.
Julie's had internet issues today. So we're just so happy she's here.
I'm just happy I'm on my phone hotspot. So this is kind of all right. Share
And then while
screen.
Julie's doing that, question, Mary just said, what machine were you using? Actually, Asia, I wasn't even paying attention. What machine were you using?
I was showing the Silhouette software. So
Yeah.
Silhouette.
Okay. Awesome. And then Julie's going to show you Caesar. And then I love it. Veronica says, I'm in University of Arts and Design and Design Suite after UAD, which we love. Judy's in Design Suite. So good. You're so welcome. Okay, Julie, we good?
Okay, now you can see. Yes. Okay. Let me see my screen here. So again, I have this ladybug too. So one thing that I wanted to share was in the Caesar this is the Leonardo Design Studio, which is for Caesar or Juliet, or Leonardo. I'm sorry, the Romeo and the Juliet. So you can take an image, and in here, I wanted to show you, if you go down to this build contours, you can do different things. There's kind of some cool stuff. This is a line fill in where you could actually fill it in with different weird lines, or, if you wanted to add some different kind of a weird texture, or there's that option. But also under here, you can make basically, cancel. You can make basically a sticker cut, like an offset in the Caesar. So if you go into here, you can add, if I wanted, say, maybe a 0.75, and you can choose if you want it more round or sharp. And then you can do basically make a sticker from a cut file. So you can say you can include the coals. You can choose as a die cut. You can use it with a custom dash line or something like that as well. So that is how you would apply and do a little offset to make a sticker from an image. So basically, that is my little tip. I'm going to stop sharing.
All right. Shara is going to give us our final tip today before we head into our private meeting.
Okie dokie. I'm going to share the screen.
I'm getting so fancy with these buttons, you guys.
Can you see that?
I cannot.
Is it something I did?
Yeah, because it should be at the bottom. I should see another screen.
Oh, wait. Okay. I see why.
Got it.
There we go. Okay, so you can do the same thing with Cricut that Julie just showed with her Caesar. So this is not my tip, but I just wanted to show that you can also do the same thing with Cricut. So here is the offset selection for Cricut, and I've got my ladybug highlighted, and all I would have to do is just see it automatically puts the offset, and I can make it, thinner, or I can make it thicker. So that's how you do that same function in Cricut. So I'm not going to do that. But I wanted to show that, especially for designers, if you use the Cricut software, you can use similar, or not all, but some of the same shortcuts that you're used to using in Illustrator. So for instance, if I wanted 2 ladybugs instead of just the 1 ladybug, I can either do it the copy and paste way, which is just going up here to copy and paste, or I can highlight my ladybug, hold my option key, and you see I got that plus, and I can just drag the ladybug over. And also I can use the same command to undo that as you use on Illustrator, and that's Command Z to undo it. So you should try different shortcuts that you're used to using when you're in Cricut Design Space, because it is modeled a lot after what you're used to using in Illustrator. So give it a try and see what you come up with. So there you go.
I just tried that in the Caesar. I'm like, oh, I didn't know I could do that. And you can do it in there too. So thanks, Shara.
You can do it in Silhouette as well. And that's what I think I like about some of these softwares is I think they all have similarities, and like those shortcut functions tend to work most of the time in them.
So good. All right, you guys, we're going to end on YouTube today. Thanks for joining us. This is super fun to have you. We're so excited to see the rest of you guys the rest of the day. We have a lot of cool stuff planned for you guys today, a lot of new projects for the event. Once again, if you're watching this afterwards and you're like, or you're watching it today and you're like, ooh, I want to hop in, all you have to do is go to designsuitecourses.com/masterthemachine, and you can get your ticket. It will give you access to all the live events we do in the future because the machines do change. And just so you guys know, we are a retailer for Silhouette and Caesar. So both of those machines you can purchase off of our site at carinagardner.com, and that will really help you as well. And then finally, the last plug we're going to give you is we'll tell you that the cardstock we've been using the most right now is 12 by 12 cardstock. That's at 12by12cardstockshop.com. And we do have a coupon code for you guys. And this is why we tell you guys about it, because it'll get you 15% off always. So if you use Carina, Carina, it will get you 15% off. We are obsessed with the Encore series. I love it so much. They also have like these easy to cut glitter cardstock. I don't know. What you guys want to say what your favorites are before we move forward?
They have the most beautiful iridescent cardstock. It is absolutely gorgeous. And it cuts like a dream.
Yeah. All of their paper cuts really, really beautifully. And I like that it's not a white core, because if you do get a little bit of a nick or, some of those tighter corners usually tend to tear up with a white core. And so it's more noticeable when you do some more intricate cuts. And since there isn't a white core, it's not as obvious if it's just a little bit, really deep. So,
yeah, Tiffany said she likes the textures. I am a big fan of the texture. Like such a big fan. Yeah, just a good everyday cutting. Go, Julie.
Yeah. Sorry. They have, and even they're like sometimes big glitter kind of cardstock that I don't use. It doesn't cut as well, but theirs cuts really well.
Yeah, so good. So if you guys want to go there, it's like our public service announcement. Like this is such an easy thing for you, and we're just happy to give you a 15% off. So use the code Carina, Carina. It'll get you 15% off. Enjoy. Go get yourself some paper. Those of you who are interested in machines, make sure and in the Master the Machine series today, we're going to give you some discount codes that you guys can use. So, all right. We are so excited to see you. Christine, those of you in Design Suite and the University of Arts and Design, if you go to your Google Calendar, the Zoom link is directly in your Google Calendar today. So if you're like, I can't find it, I didn't get an email, no worries. It's in your calendar today. If you bought a Master the Machine ticket, that link came to you via email. Okay, so go check that out. We're super excited to see you guys in our 4 more hours together today. We're going to make sure it's fun for you guys, and we'll see you guys all soon. Bye, guys.